Hi everybody, and welcome to Jewel Family Farm. Today, I've had a lot of questions about how to do sweet potato slips and how to start the slips and then what to do with them after they've started. So I thought I'd do a little um, talk about that today. So here's my potatoes that I have started the slips on. Okay, so let me show you how I get started. Now you have to have organic potatoes or leftover potatoes from the year before. I have tried store-bought sweet potatoes. I've tried to get slips off of that, and it just doesn't work. So you need some sweet potatoes that you either grew yourself or you can get from a friend that grew sweet potatoes. And you don't need many, depending on how many sweet potatoes you want to plant in your garden, because the vine itself, once you plant it in the ground, it'll make a whole lot of, one vine will make several sweet potatoes. Now, I don't know how many exactly one vine would make, but it'd make probably at least five, if not more, I would say. And the vines, once you plant them in the ground, they grow all, they're like a, well, you can see this vine here, how big it is off of this one little sweet potato. And once you put them in the ground, they grow all over the place. I mean, it's just like a whole sea of vines growing all over the place, wherever you look, it's still going. Look how long that is. And that's just only been in there for, I don't know, 3 weeks maybe. That's a big vine. But anyway, so I was going to show you how I start these. And it's really simple. And this is a good thing to use your old, like save your old, like jars that stuff comes in, like pickles or salsa or spaghetti sauce or anything that you buy in jars. Save your jars and or any kind of containers. I use coffee cups. See, this one isn't, it's got a little teeny tiny growth on it, but it's not doing as good as the rest for some reason. I don't know why. But anyway, I use coffee cups. I use coffee cups, or like I said, like this is an old molasses jar. So whatever you got that you can use. And so all you do, it's very simple to do. You just fill your jar with water. And depending on how long your sweet potato is, like this one's pretty long, I'm just going to throw it in there like that. And it sticks up a little bit. You can see there's a little bit of growth on the end of that one. And it's just starting, so I just put it in there. And you keep your jars, fairly full, at least that up to this amount of sweet potato that would be in the dirt. I mean, in the water. You have to have at least that much into the water. So I don't have to have this much water in here. Like I can pour some over here in this other jar. And then just have that much water. And that's plenty, really. I don't need to fill it all the way up. But as you can see, they grow roots. And here's the root system. So you have to make sure that you keep your little containers, with water. Okay, and so we just set that someplace in the house for right now because it's too cold outside. And I usually put mine in a shady, more of a, not shady, more of a sunny area, but they need to get a little bit of sun, but it doesn't have to be right in a window. So wherever it's daylight or gets a little sun, that's a good place to put them to start growing. So then I got this little container. Oh, and that's another thing. You have to make sure that you put the right end down. So you look for the root end, which it's kind of hard to do, but I always look for a piece of potato that has a little sprout on it. And then I know that that's the end I want to put into the water. And that's all I do. I just set it down in there. Some people put toothpicks, like this one here, I put toothpicks on just to show you all how I did that. It just holds it up out of the water a little bit more. But see, I got a growth coming up down there. So I may have had the wrong end in the water. I don't know. It looks like I might. So I'll turn it around that way. Okay. It's hard to tell when they don't have any growth on them when you first start. We'll turn it up that way and see what happens. All right. So that's what you do. That's how you start those. And then I'm going to take this one potato out of this jar so I can show you what to do next. All right, so then once they start growing like this one right here, I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to snip that off right there at the sweet potato. Then you take this and you stick it down in the water. I'm going to get a little bit more water in here because you want this to take root. And that's your potato slips. I'm going to take this great giant long one and stick it down in here. This one broke, so I'm going to put it down in there. See, it's got a little bit of growth on it right here, so that'll make a root. And I just stick them down in this water until they take root, until it's time to plant them in the garden. And that's it. Now this I'm going to leave in here, see if it grows any more, you know, slips. And so you just, you know, put as many as you can fit in this one little jar of water. That's all you do. It's that simple. So I hope that helps. There was a couple of people that had asked me about how to do that, and that's how you do it. So I'm going to cut off a few more of these little slips here and stick them in the water and let them get some roots on them. You really want them to be about this size at least before you cut them off. That's about maybe 7 inches, something like that. So you want them to be about that big before you cut them off and put them in the water. Okay? So I hope this helps somebody. So I'm getting ready to plant potatoes in a little while, and if I'll take you down there with me to do that. I'll be back. Okay, so I've already made my heels. Got some of my heels made for my potatoes. So I'm just going to go across the top of them and make a ditch. As these potatoes grow, you have to keep pulling dirt up around them, because the potatoes will only grow under the ground. And if you don't have enough dirt pulled up around them, you'll limit yourself of your how many potatoes you'll be able to grow. This is mostly composted manure, and so I don't want to really put any fertilizers on this. Now as they start to grow, I'll make some liquid fertilizer from manure and put that on there. So these are the potatoes that I put the lime on, and they've dried out some, so the eyes are going to go up in the garden, in the rows. They'll be facing up. And you want to put them a good hand width apart. Put my gloves on. My ground underneath is really soft, and there's a lot of growing space down underneath these rows, so they can like make their way down into the ground. Make the potatoes. Alright, I'm going to make the other row. I only have 2 rows ready right now. These are little short rows. Whew, pretty chilly out here this morning. Hey Milo, how you doing? Don't you eat my potatoes. This ain't nothing for you. Alright, so you just take your hoe and you just cover them up. And that's all there is to it. Now you can grow these in other things too. You know, a lot of people are growing it in these grow bags if you don't have a big enough space for a garden. There's grow bags and there's you know, other things you can grow it in. I think some people are growing it like in big old barrels and all kinds of stuff. So you're just limited on what your imagination can guide you. I pulled up a little bit on the other side too. Now just tap it down with my hoe. We've got beets planted over in this other garden. Just tap it down. And you just, as the potatoes grow, you just pull more dirt up on them like that as they start to grow. Keep adding dirt to them. You'll have a big old pile. You'll have a big old mound. You also can put straw down, which I'm going to do. You can pile straw on top of them, and that works really good too. So if you're limited on dirt, you know, you can pile straw up on top of them, and that'll give them extra covering. You don't want your potatoes to grow where they grow up out of the ground, because if potatoes poke up out of the ground, you got dirt all over you, Milo. If the potatoes grow up out of the ground and they're showing, then they'll get sunburnt and turn green. That's where you get those green potatoes, and you can't really eat those. You have to cut that part off before you eat them. But anyway, I hope that helps somebody, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care. Count your blessings. See you later. Bye.